The family of a man killed in a mass shooting at Florida State University last year is suing OpenAI, alleging that the chatbot helped plan the attack that left 2 people dead.
So the accused gunman in this case, Vicky Phoenix Eichner, is also named as a defendant in the federal lawsuit. Among the accusations, it says the chatbot told Eichner how to use firearms, allegedly noting that it's much more likely for a shooting to gain national attention, quote, if children are involved. It also says that OpenAI failed to effectively detect and recognize the potential threat.
OpenAI is responding to the lawsuit, a spokesperson telling NBC News in an email that, quote, last year's mass shooting at Florida State University was a tragedy, but ChatGPT is not responsible for this terrible crime.
NBC News legal analyst Misty Marris joining us now with more. Misty, thanks for being here. Look, the plaintiff is alleging here that Eichner shared images of firearms with ChatGPT, right? That's the first part of this. And then the chatbot allegedly explained how to use them, quote, telling him the Glock had no safety, and it advised him to keep his finger off the trigger until he was ready to shoot. How would you go about determining liability in a case like this? Is there a precedent?
So this lawsuit is really one that's a trailblazer and potentially setting a precedent for who can be held responsible when we've seen these mass shootings. A defense that was tried and true but has been eroded in the past 10-ish years was that there was a superseding criminal act, meaning ChatGPT is not going to be held legally responsible because there was someone out there for the purpose of committing a crime. That was their intention. So now there has been a movement where we've seen companies like OpenAI, we're just talking about Facebook, all of these social media cases where accountability is actually on these companies as well. So new legal terrain.
It's that idea that you have to prove there was negligence here. But the thing is, OpenAI's defense, in part, is you can look up this information on the internet. And that's sort of been a defense we've seen in the past as well.
Right. It's publicly available. Yeah. It's the way somebody uses it. It's not foreseeable. That's the legal word that we have to protect off of misuse of information that's out there on the internet. How can we be held responsible? But here's where the argument comes in with negligence. It's what they knew and when about the dangers. And what you usually see is corporate documents, information. He's using this search engine and having these extensive conversations with ChatGPT. And why isn't he being diverted to a helpline or something like that?
Why wasn't his conversation flagged?
Exactly.
Or is there a next step of putting guardrails in for what you can or cannot search using generative AI?
And so those are all of the questions, because we don't have a federal law that's really telling us what we can and cannot do from the legal perspective. We're having this patchwork of laws across the country, and it's all really, really new. So this is another case to watch.
It is a Wild West with all this new technology, always. Misty Marris, thank you for helping us break it all down.